What's up everyone, it's Tyranitartube and welcome to another theory video. Recently, Project Pokemon has been able to dump the RAM of Pokemon X and Y and obtain currently unreleased things, including unreleased Pokemon moves and items. Out of these leakings, one thing stood out the most, involving unreleased moves hidden in the game's code. Let's take a closer look. The moves are certain to belong to who we call the Z legendary Zygarde. Zygarde is supposed to be the strongest of the XYZ legends, yet it's easy to tell that it isn't at its full power in the game. Its ability is the only strength it has against Xerneas and Yveltal, with everything else about it being a con. Zygarde's ground typing is useless against Yveltal, and its dragon typing is useless against Xerneas, and its base stats are also lower than the two, allowing it to be outsped and countered. It has been speculated that in the same way Giratina and Kyurem obtain new forms, that Zygarde will also get a new form, and this recent leaking almost confirms it. The leaking revealed two new moves, 1000 Arrows and 1000 Waves. They're both physical ground type attacks with a base power of 90 and 100% accuracy, but with different secondary effects. 1000 Arrows is able to hit flying and levitating Pokemon and knocks them to the floor, negating their immunity to ground attacks, and 1000 Waves traps the opponent in after being hit, preventing it from escaping or switching out. Similarly, Zygarde's current signature move, Landsrath, is also a physical ground type attack with base 90 power and 100% accuracy, but with no secondary effect. 1000 Arrows and 1000 Waves almost seem like a perfected version of Landsrath and is speculated to be the signature moves of Zygarde's alternate forms. Its Pokedex entry also states that Zygarde has a secret power that it will use if it needs to. We know a form change is coming, but the form change itself is something we don't know. It could be a split Mega Evolution like Mewtwo, a fusion like Kyurem, or a form change like Giratina, but at this moment we can only speculate. Some fans suggest that Zygarde would actually suit the theme of Mega Evolving, considering Generation 6 introduced and had a main focus on Mega Evolutions, and giving Zygarde the extra base stats from Mega Evolving would make it stronger than Xerneas and Yveltal. This theory was easy to say before the leaks, but with newer moves being revealed for these alternate forms, it can't be two Mega Evolutions as a Pokemon doesn't learn moves through Mega Evolving. It is also suggested that Zygarde's new forms can be the result of a fusion. As seen with the two fusions that currently exist, Black Kyurem and White Kyurem, a move can morph into a new move upon fusing. Kyurem's Glaciate morphs into either Ice Burn or Free Shock, and its Scary Face morphs into either Fusion Flare or Fusion Bolt. Its base stats increase by 40, going from the weakest of the trio to the strongest. If Zygarde were to fuse with another Pokemon, it can follow the same path, obtaining a new signature move and adding to its base stats to become the strongest of its trio. The only argument against this is that logically, Game Freak wouldn't make Zygarde a base for fusion. Kyurem looked incomplete, like it was missing something, and the idea of fusion actually made sense for it, but Zygarde looked complete just with an odd design, and nobody can see it fusing with Yveltal or Xerneas anyway. Additionally, with its Pokedex entry emphasizing that it can use its secret power at any time, it wouldn't make sense for this secret power to be the result of a fusion. Along the same lines as fusion is just a normal form change, which actually makes a lot more sense. Form changing is much more flexible, especially in terms of learning new moves. Shaman can learn different moves depending on the form it's in, Rotom learns form exclusive signature moves upon changing forms, Meloetta changes forms after using its signature move, and Deoxys can change its form by interacting with objects. This gives a lot of possibilities for Zygarde to undergo a form change in the newer Pokemon games. Based on this, me and a good friend have created our visual interpretation on how we think these new forms would look. One would take it to the air and become more offensive, and one would stay down and maintain its offenses but becoming more defensive. With the animation of the moves leaked as well, we can see these forms using their signature moves. As we've seen with other Pokemon changing forms, Pokemon can get a typing change, learn new moves, and even get a large base stat total increase in its different forms. Similarly, if Zygarde obtained two new alternate forms, its base stats can equally even surpass Xerneas and Yveltal, and will be able to learn newer moves including the two new moves, 1000 Arrows and 1000 Waves, as well as possibly getting a typing change. And with this, speculators suggest that there will be two new games after X and Y, with alternate Zygarde forms, and each game is version exclusive, but that's the most we can make out of this leaking. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think about Zygarde and its two new possible forms, including abilities and different typings it can have. A lot of information is currently being leaked, and soon we'll figure out the mystery of the hidden power plant, as well as more information on Volcanion and Hoopa, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out.